to get the new knee going here. If I had to characterize my relationship with Wayne over the last 40 years, he was certainly my best friend in this country. Actually, my best friend, you know, any place. I was thinking about it, probably spent more time with Wayne than I did with my own children. You know, they grew up and they moved on, but Wayne was always here. And if I didn't see him every couple of days, I'd get a phone call. And he would say, I just wanted to touch base with you. Kind of interesting that we would use a baseball term between the two of us. Even this tie today is in honor of Wayne. He gave it to me. You know? Every time he come back from the States, there'd be another baseball tie. I've passed a lot of them on to some other friends, but this one I still have. We did spend a lot of time together. It's already been mentioned that we did quite a few broadcasts together. This one is an interesting story. Anybody recognize it? This is the top of the third base dugout of Nagoya Stadium. I don't think anybody has ever broadcast a baseball game from on top of a dugout. It's a very dangerous thing to do. But in the old Nagoya Stadium, they didn't have enough broadcast booths. So they set up tables on the top of the third base dugout, and we were totally unprotected. And frequently, a foul ball would come whizzing by, and one time when it was very clear that the ball had come very close to us, and we either ducked to one side or the other, Warren Cromartie came out of the dugout and said, "You guys need helmets?" and offered us to have batting helmets sitting there on the top of the dugout. Anyhow, Wayne, as you all will agree, is one of the loyalist guys around. He was loyal to all of us. He was loyal to the things that were important in his life. He was loyal to his God, loyal to his family, loyal to his friends. And he was also loyal to products. It's already been mentioned here today that he liked. And I gave you an article. I copied it here today. You probably haven't had a chance to read it yet, but this is the one snapshot. All I wanted for Christmas is a new digital camera. Other side is how it began. All began with the baseball bulletin. But the one I want to talk about that I thought was so interesting was when I saw this picture that I got from the family. I said, gosh, that's that camera that he was using forever. And you read this story later on, but my favorite line in the article is, this is all about his camera, his Konica C35 EF camera. He bought it secondhand in 1977, it says. Okay. And my favorite line is the paragraph, "One Oji-san cameraman for Baseball Magazine Company saw my Konica and couldn't believe it. 'Geez, how long have you had that?' he asked. 'That model was new when I took one on my honeymoon to Hawaii 35 years ago.'" And another good line. "The other day I was trying to think of the first player whose picture I snapped with it. A friend said it might have been Babe Ruth. I doubt that, though, because the Bambino died 35 days after I was born in 1948. And for you guys that don't remember, Babe Ruth came to Japan in 1934. Then Wayne wrote, he had been using this camera almost 30 years, and he proudly said, "My camera has been to 29 Japanese ballparks. It has accompanied me to 17 Major League Baseball games, but its days may finally be numbered. I wonder if I should send my Konica C35 EF to the Japanese Hall of Fame at the Tokyo Dome, or maybe even its big brother in Cooperstown, New York." Speaking of the Hall of Fame, I got emails from many of the former players that I stay in touch with. In fact, I'm going to put those in a long list and give them all to the family. There's so many, and I can't use them all today, but there was one that I liked from John Sippen, who was pictured in the earlier slide presentation. And John said this, "Marty, one of the great gentlemen ever to be involved with Japanese baseball, Wayne. Nicest guy, always with a smile. One person I was always happy to see. He should be inducted in the Japanese Baseball Hall of Fame. Many memories, so many, and all of them make me smile. John. Wayne was even loyal when he eats. You know, we saw it already, or it's been mentioned already. He didn't get away from the routine. Here's the infamous NBA card. I have that entire article here. If you haven't seen it and want to read it, here's the article about how it came about. I'm not going to tell you about that right now, but the thing I want you to notice, on the back of the card on the bottom, it says, can you see what it says? What's his hobby? Eating pizza. Kind of proof of the pudding here, huh? This is the baseball Japan Ball Tour, and this is with Leon DeHaven. And of course, when every ballpark that he would go to, I mean, that's the first food that he would get was his pizza, and he was very generous. He usually shared it here. It looks like he's sharing with Leon. And it was funny. He even wrote articles about the ballparks that didn't have pizza. I mean, he was upset about that. They just weren't running things properly if they didn't have pizza. And our good friend Bob Avesi would bring these tours, the Japan Ball tours, to Japan every year. And Bob would always come to Tokyo a few days before the group. And where would they have their first get-together and talk about the tour and so forth? Shakey's in Kichijoji, because they had an all-you-can-eat pizza buffet. But this was done consistently every single year. Outside of the pizza at the ballpark, whenever, and this has been mentioned too, Jim just mentioned it, but you know, what would he eat? Jim, Alan, what would he eat? Gotta be a cheeseburger, right?
Because he didn't want to go downstairs to Mr. Donuts.
Oh, he did want to go down to Mr. Donuts, yeah. Well, this is a picture with, you know, his good friends, Jim Allen, John Gibson, Jason Coskrey, and Jeff Kusamoto, all here today, and Dave Euphrates, who couldn't make it from LA. Of course, it's always a cheeseburger. Even when we went, we'd have an annual get-together around Christmas or New Year's each year, and we tried to do it at the New Sana Hotel, and we usually ate in this dining room here, the main dining room, if we've been in the New Sana. And of course, Wayne liked that because in the main dining room they had cheeseburgers. Well, and this was last year with good friend Ray Denny and Junko. They couldn't make it today from Virginia and send their regrets. This year, though, we went upscale. Mark King, who's here today, and Yuko. I asked Mark to make the reservations for us at the New Sana, and he didn't know that we usually ate in the main dining room because that's where you get the cheeseburgers. So we were in the upscale exclusive dining room, and they don't have cheeseburgers on the menu. And all of us were happy with our ribeye steaks, which were really nice, but I don't think Wayne was very happy. This tells a lot about Wayne. What makes you happy? What makes you happy? He liked to eat, as already mentioned. Jim mentioned it, that he was going to host the next one at Hooters. Does he look happy? Doubly happy? You know, he actually pulled some of us, unwillingly into this, den of iniquity, and you can see how upset Jim Small and I were to have to be in this company. I mean, it shouldn't be done, but somebody has to do it, right, Jim? So we went. And he was consistent. He was consistent. I didn't get to go with him every time, but I'd get the pictures. And they would come quite regularly. And you know what? Really good guy. Wayne even taught me a little Polish. I'm now trilingual, I think. Do you know what a dupa is?
Yes.
You know what a dupa is?
Of course.
One of these beautiful young ladies would walk by and Wayne would say, "Nice dupa." You think when I go to Poland that might help me get along? No? I might get slapped if I go to Poland and use nice dupa. But he was consistent, and he was a real gentleman, you know. And Wayne was fair too. He was really fair. You know, he treated everybody the same. He was generous. He even spread his money around at times, like at the ballparks. Kieran. Yeah. Kieran again. But this was Ebisu. Ebisu. And look at he's, you know, he's loaded this gal up with money. Asahi. Oh, what a guy. What a guy. And you know what? Wayne was a good businessman. While he's having fun and doing this and entertaining us, he was also working. He was selling his, you know, fan handbook and media guide. Randy, was this a barter? You know, one media guide for one beer? What do you think? No? No barter? Probably a barter system.
Maybe.
Anyhow, what a guy. And this is a picture, I wanted to put this in because Rob Small, our dear friend, who's back in Canada now, couldn't make it and sent his regrets. And I found this picture taken in Legends, and which we had many cold ones in together. And I love this picture of Wayne. You know, he was a fun-loving guy and easy to love. This picture was in a different shot of this. We would frequently have parties after I moved up to Sendai to help get the Eagles going. I'd often have parties with the players and families, and Wayne would make the parties if he could get up to Sendai. This one here particularly was taken in 2008, late May, and this was with Jose Fernandez, Rick Short and families, and the Cart players, Alex Ochoa, Mike Schultz, and Ben Kozlowski, another easy Polish name to pronounce. But anyhow, Wayne would help me bring out the stuff to barbecue. Kyoko, my wife, would prepare the stuff in the kitchen, and then Wayne would bring it out to the balcony, and I'd barbecue, and then he'd take the food back into the living room or put it on the table so people could eat from the barbecue. And of course, we would liberally pound back some buds. He'd like to have Budweiser. I bought it for him. And while we were barbecuing, and then of course, when we got finished with all the barbecuing, we treat ourselves to cheeseburgers. You know how, you know, I put everything on mine, but you know how Wayne took his. This is a picture on our balcony after we were relaxing, after we'd had finished all the chores of barbecuing. But what a dear friend. 21 years ago, I found out I had a tumor in the middle of my spinal cord. And I had to go back to the United States for very delicate spinal surgery. And that surgery took place on September 16th, 1996. And Wayne wrote to me on September 13th, 3 days before that big surgery. And here's what Wayne had to say. "Hope you're feeling okay. It's a rainy evening in Tokyo and it's supposed to rain tomorrow, but I hope I can go jogging in the morning. I will be praying for you as I run, and I've decided to pray for you when I pass a hospital. There are 2 big ones on my jogging course. That's because you'll be going into the hospital. Also, I'll pray for you every time I pass a sake shop, because I'll be reminded of the beer we're going to drink when you get back to celebrate your successful surgery and the road to recovery and full good health. There are about 10 or 12 liquor shops on my route. Hang in there, buddy." That's what I want to tell Wayne. Hang in there, buddy. You know, it won't be too long before we're going to be able to drink beer, talk baseball again. God bless. Thank you.
I hope everybody can see me. Thank you for coming today, and also the hard work done by his beloved friends. And I really thank you to all of you being so nice to my husband. There's a lot to say about him, but the only thing that I can say, his life was complete. It was too unexpectedly, but when I look back, like after I retired from a teaching job, that I got more time to spend with him, cooking, making breakfast, and his lunch, and supper at 4 o'clock. Marty is really joking about it, but that I don't know why, but my husband insisted we should eat supper 4, not later than 6 or 7. He is a man of a habit. Then I respected it. And we enjoyed talking, drinking a glass of wine with my homemade, cheap, his favorite. So I respected his choice. And we talked about a lot about our life. I didn't know Wayne was such a baseball buff. He didn't mention he liked baseball so much. And when I got married, I even didn't know he loved baseball so much. And gradually, on the slide, he started getting involved with Japanese baseball. Actually, when he asked my parents for permission to get married, my father asked Wayne, what are you going to do after you graduate from Sophia? Then he said, I would like to get involved in Japanese pro baseball. My mother and my father and even my brothers and sisters, they laughed because we are from just a white, salaryman. So he is new to Japan and he didn't know anything about how to link with the Japanese baseball. But when I look back, he never gives up. Because I'm more flexible, but he is not. He's a stubborn. So he made just a little sample of a fan handbook. And because he found some fan handbook in Japanese made by Mr. Tagawa. He brought that sample, so poorly made, I'd say. Then he knocked at the printer. He found the address. Then the printer introduced him to Mr. Tagawa, who is a publisher of the Japanese fan techo. He introduced Wayne to the commissioner's office, and he started writing Japan Times, and also Koki Alexander, offered some spot after his graduation from, Sophia. The thing started working in that way. When I look back Wayne's life here in Japan, he stayed here more than living in the States. We celebrated our 46th anniversary, the end of March. And we celebrated Easter together. And we ate a lot of nice supper together. And we talked about our life. And I don't know why, but we thought this is a wonderful life we had. Not only our family, but this assured me when I look at you like here, then that was true. He was so loved by all of you, and with your support, then he got a job done in Japan to make Japanese baseball a little bit more popular maybe. And he is so happy, like he could put an end his life unexpectedly with his beloved, Nihon Televi's people. Like he loved the staff, he loved the job, and he really enjoyed it. And he finished his 41st, like a fan handbook. And we all sent to all the clients, all the friends, all the teams. I helped packing together, and we drive to the nearest, post office by our small car. I really think, the life without Wayne might be a big change, but I just feel like he's all around watching baseball, Japanese baseball mainly. So thank you for being so nice to my husband, and thank you so much for loving him, and thank you very much for arranging this. I cannot, recognize all of you because maybe names only I can, associate, but thank you so much for today. Then for all of us, Gail, Randy, and Saya-chan, and us, we would like to continue to work for the handbook, and as long as possible. So, but anyway, the only thing that I could say, thank you so much for being friend with Wayne. Thank you.